It's very simple.
So how long did you take to edit?
3 months.
That's it?
Seulement.
Wow.
Et nous avons produit ce film en novembre hier.
Last year?
Yeah. Et 3 mois après, le film c'est fini.
Wow.
Hi there, are you Jimmy Arnaud?
I am.
Hi, I represent a local law firm. I'm here to serve you those papers.
From a law firm? Am I getting sued? What am I getting sued for?
Not my concern.
You won't be able to see her. She's just gonna be living with me.
Hey, sweetie.
Fine, just keep going.
Okay. I'm sorry, honey. Do we have to go that fast?
That wasn't fast.
Aux États-Unis, il n'y a pas d'argent pour le film. There's no grants, there's no art funds. Donc, nous avons besoin to start small. It has to be a court-métrage because we don't have any money. And so we have to start by doing these small things. At least that's how it was for me. I think for the people who are successful, I think almost all of them start in shorts in America, I think.
Okay.
And then there are people who will write, writers who will write long-métrage or 10 long-métrage feature films for years and nothing happens. Because in me making short films, I learned how I spoke the language of film. It was an education in doing these smaller things, and that helped me to become a filmmaker in a way that just writing wouldn't. I had to shoot, I had to edit, and then when I learned how to do all of that, I then understood how these things get put together to make a longer project.
Look, man, I'm sorry we couldn't make it. I'm actually kind of glad you didn't.
Oh, yeah?
My mother was an extremely charitable woman. She loved Bruce Springsteen. She used to sing Thunder Road to me when I was going to sleep.
Everything go okay?
Everything went normal.
So with my experience, before I made this feature, I had made 10 single-take short films. So I made 10 short films beforehand, so I was ready to make a feature. Like, I would not have been able to make the feature had I not made 10 short films before. There are times where we purposely will change the filmmaking so that the camera doesn't move too quickly, so the audience can think, oh, that's fake, that's a cheat. So we have all of these rules to make it seem absolutely, to show off that it's really one long take. We had the camera, and it's like and I'm watching it on this monitor and running around with the camera, and the camera is moving around her, and then right outside of the frame, there are 2 or 3 people. It's like a ballet. It's like constantly a ballet where there are people who will have the arrow, and it's a magnet. It's something that sticks to the thing. So she has it on her skin already, and then we just have to find it, and it sticks on. And it's one person for that, and then another person with a squirt gun for the blood. It was crazy. It was all the time, like, and then the camera moving, and then moving in, and it's so wild, and it looks so realistic. But I watched movies by Jim Henson, like Labyrinth and things like that, and it's all the same thing. It's long shots with these cool tricks, trompe-l'œil. C'est incroyable. So we won Sundance. There's a lot of acclaim and there's an award, but there's no money with Sundance. And then after people had seen the short film, there were these companies who wanted us to make stuff for them. And so we were hired to make 6 single-take short films for a company called Full Screen for the budget of $150,000. That was the first time anyone had paid me to make something. And after that, I still, for the Thunder Road feature, I had to run a Kickstarter campaign, a crowdfunding campaign to get people, because nobody would pay us to make anything, which is terrible. It's,
so what is the budget of the movie?
$180,000. I shot it at an Airbnb in Texas. That's my character's house. Jimmy Arnaud stays there. We shot it in the backyard. We shot it upstairs. We shot it downstairs. We shot it all over Austin, Texas, with my producers, friends, and family, and my friends and family. And we all came together. Everyone was paid. Everybody on set was paid well, and I gave points, percentages of the film to my team. But we made it for a very little amount of money, because we cared so much about it and because nobody would give us money to make something. In Hollywood, it's very difficult to get any money because if you can do it yourself, people see you as the competition, so they don't want to help you. They want to be needed. They want to have somebody and they take their idea and they give them a little bit of money and then they own that forever. And we didn't want that. We wanted to make something with our people we love and share it with the world and to do it ourselves. And we did. Okay.
I had it working this morning, I promise. Come on, just fucking work. Come on, please. Sorry. It's not gonna work. Yeah, could you do that? That'd be great. It's track 4. Thank you so much. It's a beautiful song. How do you explain it? It's a song about this guy telling this girl to leave their small town forever. It changed a lot. Should we just call the manufacturer?
I edited it very quickly, and so I was able to submit it to South by Southwest, I think by January 1st. I think I had a cut by January 1st. It wasn't finished, but I was able to submit it. And ours was the first movie that they said, yep, we want that one. It was the top of their list. They saw it, the first cut, and they said, yep, absolutely. It's shot in Texas. It's about a Texas police officer, and it's a comedy and a drama, and I'm telling you, it was perfect for the South by Southwest audience. Well, anytime we're doing this stuff, it's me making jokes and humiliating myself as like for the short film, I just wanted it to be a viral video. I wanted it to be a dancing cop movie. And I never had any dreams that it would win Sundance or be presented on the world stage or anything like that. And so we made the movie with the hopes that it would screen, the dream that it might screen at South by Southwest. I never thought that it would go to Cannes or win at Deauville. It's a dream. We submitted to other festivals, but very luckily, and this is something that most filmmakers don't understand who haven't screened at festivals. If you get into one of the major film festivals, you have other festivals reaching out to you. Sure. So we submitted to Cannes, we submitted to all 4 chapters of Cannes. It's like 400 euros. Like I had to send it out myself and do all of the FedEx myself. But no, what really we submitted to probably 15 film festivals, but we've screened at 30, 31 or something like that, or it's screening at 31 because they reached out and said, hey, can we see a copy? And it's as easy as sending a link on Vimeo. So we just press, we get a deadline waiver and we submit and the jurors are able to watch it. So we're very lucky in that sense. Because we had screened at South by Southwest and won, there was already some notoriety. And there was already notoriety because of the short film. So the short film success then ensured that people wanted to see it. Because of the short film success, we were able to raise $36,000 on Kickstarter, which is crazy. That's a huge amount of money. But it was only because of the success of the short. So we had a built-in audience that we're very lucky to have. And then in order to get people to see the feature, we've been doing that. We've been saying, see the feature based on the Sundance winning short, or see the Deauville winning feature based on the Sundance winning short. And it's been successful. We have a cool trailer, Bande à danser, that I edited. I cut it myself. And because of that, we're getting people to see this. So I was a producer of a film that went to Cannes in 2015 called The Grief of Others, a film, Les Secrets des Autres, de Patrick Wang. Yeah. And I had met them, but I was a producer, I was doing small stuff, but I met them and finally got to know them at this festival this year. And they're in the basement of this building. It's it's dark and they all work very hard for these movies. And before Cannes, they had distributor screenings. So they had these screenings in Paris for all these distributors. So they are the biggest champions of these movies that otherwise might not get distribution. And they have been so lovely to us. And they're our family. They have helped us to get into other theaters and to have the film seen in different territories. We're very lucky.
It is that way that Laurence Gachet saw your film?
Laurence was the first champion. So she saw it through Acide and said, absolutely. And we had a few phone calls with her, and it was made very obvious very quickly that Laurence and Pan Am was going to be our team. And I hadn't met them yet, but my producers and everybody, we had these long phone calls with her. And so when we flew there, we had these fake mustaches at Cannes that we were handing out. And the first night that we were there, we went out and we were meeting Pan Am, and we got to the venue, and Pan Am was just dancing with our mustaches on. It was like 5 women, and they all had these like stupid mustaches on. And I thought, yep, that's our team. Those are the people that we want to be distributing with.
The court has testimony that you practiced reckless behavior at funerals.
I lost my daughter today! Stay down! Ow! Stay down! Stop! You ruined my pants! You fucking hate me! You're fucking pants! You ruined my life! I never ruined your life! You ruined I saw that goddamn video! Who danced at a fucking funeral? In my culture, we do things that work! What?
It's the first country, so it'll be coming out in theaters in France before anywhere else. So it's also coming out in Japan, I think in November, but we're distributing it in the United States. So
By yourself?
By ourselves. Okay. With the Sundance Film Festival has this grant, it's called the Creative Distribution Lab, and they select 3 films every year. And they give us, it's $33,000.
So if they give money.
so if they give money, they're incredible. Robert Redford has created this incredible organization to support films. But we didn't have offers for distribution. Even though we had a claim with the short film and a claim with the feature at South by Southwest and in Acide, it's such a competitive market in the United States. And we wanted to do it ourselves as well. We wanted to own the film, and we wanted to be able to market it in a cool way. First off, especially in France, but in America as well, people who go to the cinemas are cinephiles. They're these people who care about movies more than anyone else. And I grew up in that. I loved going to cinema and seeing independent films like Memento, and that was my childhood. And so I wanted to do that again, and so we called theaters. I called theaters in the United States, and also on Twitter, I said tag your favorite movie theater or your local movie theater, and 150 people tagged their local theaters, and because of that, theaters reached out to us and said, yeah, we want your movie, and in America.
So you're going to release it in America in limited way?
In about 30 theaters. In about 30 theaters across the United States. Okay. And I'm driving between the theaters. So from like North Carolina to New York for a week, I'm driving up to go and see all the theaters where it's screening. I'm realizing that a lot of the movies that come out in other countries that are American never show this part of America. They don't show the dirty, realistic parts of America, or the America that's losing its mind, or the America that's struggling. And I knew that was going to be interesting. I wanted to make something about, in America they say the heartland. It's like the farm country, the not metropolis, the provincial. And I wanted to make something about that because Bruce Springsteen did that. Bruce Springsteen would make these songs for working people in factories and truck drivers and things like that. And I wanted that to be a perfect fusion. So it had to be this guy who didn't have much money. It had to be this small town police officer. I was driving home from the beach. I'd already talked to my friend about a story about someone singing at a funeral. He told me the story, and I thought, oh my God, that's ridiculous. That's like, he's grieving. It's going to be very difficult to sing a song. And so I'd already thought of that as a monologue, as a possible monologue for an actor. I'm not an actor. I was thinking, oh, that could be a cool thing for me to direct someday. And then I was driving home, and Thunder Road by Bruce Springsteen came on the radio. And I already knew the song, from childhood and from college. I had listened to it 1,000 times. But I was 28 or 29, and I finally heard the lyrics. I knew all the lyrics, but I really heard them in this car ride home. And I was thinking about Bruce, and I was thinking about how he encouraged all of these people who were unhappy to change their lives, to get into a car and quit their lives because they're miserable, they're close to suicide, or they're something terrible is happening to them, and so they have to change their lives. And I thought about that, and the enormity of it hit me so hard that I cried for 3 hours, uncontrollably, thinking about my mom and her generation of people who listened to this guy on the radio, and had the beauty of artwork where you can do that. You can make something that helps people. And I thought, if my mom passed away, she's right here, by the way, my mom is right there, I would sing Thunder Road at her funeral. And then I thought, well, what if I fucked it up? What if I did it so poorly because I was so nervous? That would be very funny too. So it would be beautiful and poignant while also being funny. And I love Pixar movies, and it's the same kind of thing, that like poignant and drama, but also very funny throughout. And so I thought, this is something, this could be really good. And then in America at that time, everybody was talking about the police. Everybody was talking about police brutality. And I knew that if I made something that was in the style of Charlie Chaplin, the kind of burlesque vaudeville slapstick, that would also be very funny, but then we could also humanize the police in a way that's unexpected, so that you're laughing until you're crying, like Pixar. And it hit me that day, and I was like, I have to do this thing. I'm not an actor. I've never taken an acting class. But for whatever reason, I was so moved by it. I was a producer for 8 years. So I produced all of these things, and I knew how easy it was to get a team together. And we shot the Thunder Road short film 2 months later. I'd been rehearsing for 2 months in one day, in 6 hours, and then it was done. It was one shot, and we got it. We did it 6 times, and the 6th time is the one that we used. And then I edited it. I did the sound for another month and a half, and we got into Sundance, and then won. Yeah, that's where it came from.
Flavien told me that he knows that. He said, I do not know what is college humor.
Yeah.
He knows that. So
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
No, tell me why you know.
So yeah, so after The Grief of Others was in Cannes, I was kind of a producer. I was at least a legitimate producer. And a friend of mine was working at College Humor, and he was leaving to start his own production company. College Humor is this comedy company in Hollywood that does sketch comedy for YouTube. And sketch comedy in America is like goofy, stupid internet videos for a very specific audience. And so he left and said, Jim would be good to take my place. And so I came in to interview, and they said, oh, he's been at Cannes. Oh, absolutely. And so I got the job, but it wasn't creative. I was just doing the budget. That was it. And I had no say in order to make it better. And we were making sketches that weren't funny and weren't really that important. And I thought, I just want to do something. Like I became so ambitious because I was watching these things fail. And I was like, man, I really want to make something funny. I want to make something and prove to these people that I think I know what I'm talking about. At that point, I was hoping that I would be able to put it online very quickly and that it would impress people on Facebook. I didn't know that it was going to take 8 months for that to come out because we won Sundance and we didn't have the rights to the Bruce Springsteen song, and it was going to take a long time to get in touch with Bruce. So yeah, it was. I had been fired. After that, I spent these 2 months rehearsing for the short film, and then immediately after I shot the short film, I started to be separated from the company, and I thought, okay, thank you so much, and then left. I'm in the first one. I'm almost unrecognizable. I have this beard, and I look like this, and I'm like
Burke, c'est ça?
Burke.
Yeah.
Ouais. Et je parle comme ça. What did you guys talk about when you walked down by the river? It's like this really scary character, and I play this interrogator, and I'm only in it for like 1 or 2 scenes. It's very, very quick. But the producer of that show is in development with me to make a show about astronauts. And he saw the short film and said, I think you could be really good. I would love to see if you would act in Handmaid's Tale. And I love one of my mom's favorite books is The Handmaid's Tale. And so I said, oh, of course, anything that I can do. And this was before it was a big show. I mean, it's one of the most popular shows in America now. But this was before it was even shot, the first season. And so I went in and auditioned, and I played this scary character. And they said, yep, absolutely, you're going to be the bad guy in this thing. And I was like, all right, cool. And they flew me out to Toronto. It was 2 days. And it was so terrifying because I'm not an actor, but I'm with Elizabeth Moss, Ann Dowd, these incredible actresses. and then me. So it was 2 days of shooting in Toronto, and then it came out 6 months later. And to my friends, when they would be watching the show, every single friend of mine would like screen grab it or take a picture of the TV and be like, "Is this you?" Like, so I would like wake up to like 10 text messages of like, "I think I'm seeing you on television, dude." Anyway.
It's great.
Yeah.
This is obviously a marvelous adventure. I mean, you have something in mind already because you're shooting in 3 months. You're editing in 3 months. So
yeah.
It's gonna be quick. We can
Yeah.
see us each other next year.
Yeah, maybe. I hope to do that, and I want to keep making small movies like this because I can do that. I can with a smaller movie that isn't funded by a studio, I could probably make 3 feature films every 2 years. And I can crowdfund them, I can do a Kickstarter campaign and start out the production like that. So that's the dream. I want to continue to employ my friends and families to be able to make more stuff. I have a few ideas of things that I want to do, and I'm actually scheduled to do a horror movie, a werewolf movie, this December, which is really cool.
Oh, what?
It's also a comedy, and I'd also be acting in it. And playing
play
a police
the
officer.
werewolf?
No, I play a police officer. Again, it's terrible. I'm getting typecast. But no, I want to make these smaller movies that, I don't know, I think there's this renaissance right now across the world with these smaller cameras where you can make something, and if you're able to produce it on a small budget, you have a feature film that then competes at the level with superhero movies, with Marvel and things like that. And we have the sensibilities to make people laugh and make people cry in ways that most studios cannot. And so I want to do that. I want to make smaller movies. Anybody can do it. Yeah. I swear. I was nobody. I wasn't even an actor, and I did something small, and I had a little bit of encouragement from my friends and people and the internet. And because of that, I am here. But I was literally, anybody can do this. With this technology and with the editing software, you can become your own studio. And if you focus on performance and engaging audiences with humor and drama, that's all that matters. And don't listen to anybody that tells you no. Tell your friend that. That's important. You'll have a lot of discouragement from people who are professionals saying, but it's not going to be a real movie. It's a fucking real movie. They're saying that because they don't want you to be their competition. That's it.
Thank you for the conclusion, and I will send that right away to my
Cool.
Everything okay? I'm fine. I've never been better in my life. See me wrestle an alligator, help the alligator.
You're going to be the bad guy in this thing. And I was like, all right, cool. And they flew me out to Toronto. It was 2 days. And it was so terrifying because I'm not an actor, but I'm with Elizabeth Moss, Ann Dowd, these incredible actresses, and then me. And so like, it's like this, where it's like these cameras are set up, and then there's 1,000 people. Sorry, we're doing an interview. Sorry, man. Sorry, dude. 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Oui. C'est d'accord? Merci beaucoup. How funny. That's so funny. That's great. Yeah, no, that's great. No, don't. That's hilarious. That's so funny.
You're right.
Yeah. You need the releases from them.